You gotta put in the hours to fool the feds, you know. My throat tightened and my breath hitched. It felt awful, real enough before, but now the sense of finality. No, that's so bad. But there was a sense of finality in standing before them. Don't double down, you fool! Various flowers spread across the stones and the mounds in front of them. My eyes walk across the etched lettering on the front of the first grave. A memory of Nasser Aaron, loving son and brother. Fuck. I'm sorry, man. You deserved so much better than this. I let my eyes lose focus and stare at the headstone for a moment longer. No specific thoughts going through my head as my mind disassociated. Just the ambient, smothering sensation of regret. After a moment longer, I blinked, pulling myself out of the fugue and shook my head. You were a bro to me, Nasser. For what little that was worth coming from me. As cool as that was to say, you don't get an even half of all my regrets. That was saved for her. I hobbled a few feet over to put myself in front of the fresh dirt in front of her grave. Isn't the, like, in front of her gravestone, yes, but the grave is the dirt, man. It had fewer flowers than Nasser did. It riled a distant sensation of anger within me, but so little energy left I couldn't sustain the emotion. You couldn't spark it to life, which only made me feel worse. Again, my eye scanned the etched letters. Once I read them, she would then finally truly be dead. Yet I couldn't stop myself. Hold up. We have a music suggestion by the author, which I generally try to respect. Wait, this has a fucking custom soundtrack? Oh. No, this is from someone else. I mean, that's pretty cool. It reminds me of that one Factorio sound. Do-do-do-do. Here, oh, I need to turn on the recording window again. Here lies dearest Lucy Aaron. Heaven restores you in light. They buried her using a... No, Anon! That's her dead name! That's what you call that. Or her birth name, at the least. You can't call it her real name. Then you're... If you call it her real name, then you... just never got it. Anon, the reason you feel so shit is because you refuse to accept the situation. You refuse to understand. Like, even if you don't believe it, right, you could at least call it birth name. God damn it, this was all my fault! None of this would have happened if I just noticed something was wrong. If I just supported Fang, like Mo said, instead of getting into fights with her. If I never got between her and her friends telling her how I felt. The thought of never loving Fang was like a knife to the heart. The idea was abhorrent, revolting to my core, but I bit down the sensation. Teeth grinding. Fuck you, Anon. It was true, wasn't it? If we weren't together, none of this would have happened. If I hadn't bothered Fang in the first place and stayed invisible, she would have been... If I had been such a fucking pussy and ran away from... If I never moved her full culture blast in the first place. Fuck! Because of me, Naomi, Nasser, Fang, and all those other people are dead who I don't know. We don't even know how many. Also, it's kind of weird that everyone dies. Surely some of them survived their gunshots like I did. Like, Fang couldn't just be doing executions all the time, unless she showed up with so many fucking bullets that she just double-tapped everyone. It's so fucking weird. Why was there no one else in that hospital? Why was it just me? Well, because I was too fucking stupid to see the warning signs. Like, they could have just been in shock, in pain on the ground, or unconscious from blood loss, but not dead. Like, they showed up 5 fucking seconds later to patch me up. Surely someone else there survived. Oh! I sucked in a shuddering breath. But it did little to help the turmoil of how I felt. I feel like you're over-explaining things with this, but it did little to help. We know what his problem is. If anything, the cold, biting air managed to give me even more clarity on how awful everything was. I should be crying right now. I should be screaming and crying and wailing, like a banshee, about how I should have died instead. It was true. But the energy needed to do any of that, even allow tears to take over my eyes. It just wasn't in me. I was empty. Dead. So devoid of anything that you could have asked me. You could have used me as kindling. You mean you're so dry? You're so dry, Anon. You're dry. Kindling needs to be dry, not devoid of anything. Also, I would like to point out you're having some really fucking emotional high beats here for someone who's like dead inside. I feel like that fuck is what really elevates this to being like, yeah, you're cognizant and energetic. The only thing I had energy to feel was regret and self-pity, apparently. Because it's all about you, Anon. It's all about you. Fuck you, Anon. Even at that funeral, it's all about you. There we go. Ooh, I love it. I put up my little fist and I punched it there. Yeah, get him. Get this fucking dipshit. I took another breath. Did nothing. The dead. I wasn't. However little my feelings had, it was all I had left now. Oh, self collapse into a heap in front of a grave. Don't leave me alone, Fang. That was it. That that was it. That was the real screaming void that was within me. The only sensation I had left. Loneliness. It had been steadily creeping within me ever since I woke up in the hospital. With each day of no calls, no visits, no one caring, the sense of isolation grew. Sure, I was drugged up, so it didn't feel that bad at first, but the only person I ever truly cared about was gone, and there was no one left in the world that cared about me. I'm not going anywhere, dweeb, I heard Fang's voice say. I sniffled a bit. It was so light on my ears. It was easy to imagine that she was sitting just off to the side there, letting me throw my pity party, tossing me some sappy bullshit from a movie about how, even if she was gone, she'd live out in my heart or some other trite drivel. Probably followed up with something snarky, though. Lazy looked over and envisioned her, her glistening amber eyes staring at me, small smirk on her face, an expression that says, whenever you're done with all this. That is such a great way to describe just the character. We immediately know who we're dealing with. That's such a great way to just punch it out. I do appreciate that, like, between all of this, we don't get all that much on who any of these people are. It's all like, oh man, these people are gonna kill me and stuff. It's so Anon focused. I like it. But that's a POV for you. I do prefer that you kind of mixed up some of your sentences a little bit because you're really starting with the same one over and over, and it's not for stylistic effect. Waggling my finger, buddy! You can also partially solve this problem by just using less paragraphs, less line breaks. Because then there's less starting sentences for me to complain about. Wink. I sniffled, and a embarrassed smirk cast upon my face. I didn't deserve the sensation. The memories of hell were all I had. That's how death works, buddy. That's all I remember of my dead relatives. At this point, being able to imagine with me still there, recalling the smell of her hair, provided a shred of comfort. Fleeting as it may have been, the vision smiled wider. That nice-smelling hair must have been a novelty to a body like you, huh? It echoed. I sniffled again. There it was. The snappy, sarcastic follow-up. Oh, yeah, it was. God, Fang, it's so beautiful. Trying to smooth talk me in this gym now, are you? It's all I have. It's all I ever have! I just will enjoy it, right? It's a bit somber, isn't it? Maybe. But I like to enjoy this while I can. Bring it with you. I feel like this image doesn't belong here. This should be like up here way before when Anon's imagining things. At this point, Fang's like, hey buddy, how you doing? Thumbs up. Also, lovely picture. A bit simple on the cut. I'll give it that much. The background's a bit meh. And I feel like Fang is really dominating the image here in terms of like everything. Because Fang is like an interesting color, whereas Anon is more faded. Also, I don't think Fang's hair would work like that. Why the fuck is it back there? I guess the wings kind of hold it in place like a little harness. That's such a weird thing to think about, but I guess that's true, right? Ugh. Man, the benefits of having wings you don't think about, huh? Nice art, though. Good job. Whoever the fuck did that. Should put your fucking autograph on your work, man. God, Roz was good. I remembered them. Which made sense, of course. I was probably having some sort of traumatic response, or maybe slipping into a full-blown psychosis, imagining hallucinating my dead girlfriend at a grave. It was obviously going to be how I remembered them. The cold, wet ground was soaking the only parts of me that the rainfall hadn't already gotten to, with grave dirt mud caking my pants and shoes. You know, you shouldn't take grave dirt with you, Anon. That's bad luck. The ground was sucking away my warmth with a voracious thirst. I'm gonna have it. I was enjoying this dream as long as I possibly could. I didn't want to get up and her disappearing. I sat there watching her. Oh, forgot to turn the music back on. About how lame it was that NASA got more. Oh, wait. She made some offhand comments about the sad state of the flowers. But why are there no flowers in the picture, though? I feel like the flowers should be visible, at least on Austin's grave. I'm just saying. I'm just waggling my little finger here, buddy. I should have brought some. I really should have. Watching her walk between the graves, looking at them. Like she was seeing... Like what she was seeing was completely novel. A curiosity rather than a nightmare that I wasn't going to wake up from. It was weirdly comforting. It's like having her actually back. Illusion didn't last, of course. I'd sneeze or shiver or fall asleep, and she'd be gone, but for this one lingering moment, I still had Fang. And my beautiful tarot, GF. God damn it, even now you can't stop yourself. I mean, admittedly, that is probably how the next generation is already talking. I wasn't sure how long I sat there, watching her through my mind's eye mill around the immediate area of the graves. The rain eventually ceased and the clouds began to part. I couldn't stay there for much longer. I'm sure that the cop who let me in had thoroughly forgotten about me. Oh no, it's threatened the garbage waste. It's stinky time! What is this fucking harmonica? This little plingy plong instrument. That's not a harmonica. Mouth harmonica, I'm thinking of. Mouth harp. I like it. But it's not appropriate. At some point, the groundskeeper would be through, some sniveling sycophant of a late arrival paparazzi, and I would have to get out of here. To pour salt on the bullet wound to my fucked up leg was going to be a slow journey back. I went into the clouds parted enough to cast long the figment of my shattering psyche. Golden rays shining down to complement those beautiful amber eyes. Gave the apparition a final smile. She smiled back. It wasn't like the resigned smile she gave before she jumped, but more reminiscent of after we talked on the roof. She had opened up to me, when I finally saw Fang for the first time. When I fell in love with her. It was that smile. Right. It was never going to be okay again. I found some measure of solace in this final moment of my imagination. Stop hammering on it being an imagination. I had no fucking clue what I would do now. I still felt worthless. I mean, I was worthless. You are worthless! Present fucking tense, asshole! Fuck! No, you aren't, dweeb. You're just sad and shit because it's all nightmare. Yeah. You're right, I guess. So some kind of self-therapy shit? My mind trying to help itself before I went off the deep end and decided to throw myself off a bridge. And don't do a bridge, throw yourself off a cliff. It's more appropriate because that's what Nasa did. Follow in his footsteps. Wink. I mean, Fang did it too. It's like this whole family is just destined to fall off of things. You might as well move to Russia. We'll be safer around those windows than out here. Weird. I guess that was still like her, wasn't it? I never fully understood her. Obviously, no one did. That she did disable my alarm. Could have just killed me in my sleep, but instead she took steps to make sure me, of all people, wasn't at school when she did the deed. She only got horrified when she shot me, which itself seemed like an accident when I surprised her. I mean, admittedly, she had to quick draw, turn around, so... I guess in her own inscrutable way, she did care about me, all the way to the end. If Fang wanted me to keep moving forward, even if I had no plan, no hope, no value, well, the only thing that made sense to do was to keep shuffling on. Of course, I'd have to figure out something to do. Weirdly seeing her, if you only... Stop using the word imagination! Seeing her here... Let's call it a hallucination. As a figment, as a phantom, as a phantasm, or whatever. Made me feel a little sliver of, well, hope isn't the right word. I couldn't pin it down. Something was there. I'd have all the time in the world to mull on it, I guess. A loose huff. A loose sigh huffed out. Don't say... sighs don't huff. Huffs huff. Sigh, sigh. Huffed out of me as I began the horrible time of pushing myself off the muddy ground and figured how to get back onto my feet. God, how long is this gonna go on? Fuck if I know! But this part's not so bad, at least. It was a clear sign of a fragile, unhealthy mind. I'd be more than happy to have the figment of Fang stay at my side until I eventually went apeshit. She smiled at my reply, though. It was marked with a roll of her eyes and a shake of her head. I guess even my own projections were bored of my wallowing. May as well head home. If I could figure out something to do when I got there. Slowly and very painfully, I pushed myself off the waterlogged ground. My immediate self-loathing and wallowing abated, and with it the protection of my apathy provided. I was beginning to feel the cold setting. Great! The shivers motivated me to push through the pain in my leg. I reached down and, after a rather pathetic whiff, grabbed my crutch. Settling it into my armpit, I pivoted it in place and began the long walk out of the cemetery. Normally, I'd have issues with this because this is like too much detail, but you know, it's supposed to be like the little it's supposed to be the heel turn, you know, twist in place for the story, for the telling, for like the scene. Like this is Anon is committed to moving. No one to risk any questions, even if I guessed most of the cordon had left at that point. I went back the way that I did. At worst, I just run into the guy that let me in the first place, and I doubt that sparked any new questions. Going up the hill was so much worse the second time around after spending so much time on the ground and cold. Didn't think any of the... Ooh, Shoreline's got a nice threat song. Kind of fitting, too. It's got a little bit of a... That in the background, it's got a little bit of a spooky vibe to it. I didn't think I'd do this through when I was paying for it. No flowers for, no real jacket. Not that I had one. Well, some knee pads would have been great if I planned on wallowing in my misery in front of it like that. Next time, I'd visit it properly. Couldn't help but chuckle to myself. Next time. Like there was such a definite thing I should just go ahead and plan it right now. Pencil it into the calendar. Just shove it in my phone. Maybe I should. If whatever fucked up little slice of her that was still rattling around in my head wanted me to keep trucking on. If she wanted me to be safe through all this and keep going, then I guess I had to. And if I was going to keep on going on, then that meant that sometime in the future I'd be back here again. Assuming my mental faculties last that long. Anna, why do you keep thinking you're gonna go nuts? That's not how insanity works. You don't know it's coming. That's how it gets you. Is you think you're sane. To an extent. As I finally reached the top of the hill and let out a wheezing breath from the effort, I turned around one last time to look at the grave. I couldn't see her down there anymore, so I guess the spell was broken. Well, it was nice while it lasted. Goodbye, Fang Aaron. As fucked up as you were, and I am, now you got it right. What the fuck is wrong with you? And as confusing as we were together, I loved you. And I still love you. What the fuck is this song? Yup, 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 yup. Oh, I'm kinda jiving with this. Who the fuck is the captain? Whose dick do I gotta suck to get a good bit? Anyway, I gotta say, so far I'm digging it. I don't like how Anon keeps using the word imagination. I get it, Anon. You think she's a figment. Let yourself get drawn away. Pretend it's not. Like, let us as the reader feel as though you are actually drawn into this hallucination instead of constantly pushing off. You're too sane for this to make sense.